So Pat, you have developed over the last 5 years, you've developed all kinds of tricks to make things easier. So preparing for large groups of kids, there's some methods and some systems that make it a lot easier. So share with us some of those, and I'll just ask you about some of those. So one of the big things is trying to get things from the kitchen to the classroom in 3 or 4 different classrooms all out at the same time, all warm. When you can only cook so many items, if it's pancakes or if it's something out of the oven, maybe you don't have enough oven space. Right. How do you keep it warm? What are some of your warming mechanisms and things you do?
As far as like for the pancakes, French toast, waffles, I have this pan which is used specifically for that. Yep. And this pie pan, and I put water in here. Put a pan on top of the water, kind of like a chafing dish, like if you're going through a buffet line,
right,
something like that.
Right.
Then I'll hold the pancakes, the waffles, the French toast in the pan with the water underneath it, because there's no way, especially with pancakes, there's mornings where I'll have to have 80 or 90 pancakes ready at the same time just to get the kids started on breakfast.
Right.
Well, there's no way that you can keep those hot or even close to warm with that many pancakes without doing something like this.
Yep.
Same with the waffles, same with the French toast. Bagels, English muffins, they don't take nearly as long. And so I just put those in the bowl and put some saran wrap almost all the way over it, because I don't want those to sit in there and create a bunch of moisture.
Right.
And then that moisture will drip down.
So you're keeping the heat in, but you're keeping a little areas for that steam to escape,
for the steam
and the moisture to escape.
And,
right.
and those, you know, I mean, that's not something where like a pancake or French toast, you want it to eat it pretty hot. You know,
yeah.
With the bagel, English muffin, something like that, it can be room temperature, it can be warm,
yeah.
and that's plenty good enough.
Right, right. One of the things that you've done with your spaghetti is you use a pan like this, I believe, cook the spaghetti, pour it in there, and then tell me about it.
Yeah, and then I use this, it's called a bench knife or a scraper, a dough knife, whatever. So yeah, and I do it with the noodles as well.
Right. Okay.
Put the spaghetti or the noodles in the pan, and then chop them up. And then that way it's a lot easier. The staff requested that,
right.
Actually, that I do that because it's a lot easier for the kids to eat. It's a lot less messy.
They can get it on a spoon or a fork.
Either one.
And it's not sliding off.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not putting it in their mouth and then like that, and then, you know, spaghetti sauce flapping all over their face and their friends' face, their neighbor's face, you know, the table.
101 Dalmatians, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right, what other food prep techniques do you use? Tell me about your taco salad, because I know it's simple, but I've had other taco salad in other preschools. It's just not the same. How do you make your taco salad? Because this is the most important thing if you're making taco salad, because it's my preschool favorite. So, what do you do with your taco salad?
Just the lettuce, grated cheese.
Diced up that lettuce the same way, or
yeah.
Or
I cut it up. I cut it up pretty fine.
Yeah.
Pretty small. That way, there again, the kids can use a spoon to eat it.
Right.
You know, because I mean, you have those kids trying to stab that salad with the fork, and there again, you know, I mean,
small to fit on a spoon.
Yeah, and
good.
That's one thing you learn about catering to the palates of kids.
Yep. Is
we're not feeding adults like we would, say, at home or at a restaurant.
Right.
You know, you don't have the salad in the chunks like this.
Right. Change the scenery, huh?
Yeah.
So, how about watermelon? You do the same thing with watermelon. Now, do you cut the whole outside off the watermelon?
I do. Yeah, I cut the watermelon, the cantaloupe, honeydews, anything like that.
Right.
Cut the ends off. Stand it up on end.
Yep.
Take the knife, cut the rind off all the way around,
yeah.
and then cut it up into pieces. And there again, I mean, it's more child friendly.
Right.
Just like the small pancakes, they don't have to be small, but the kids are small. You know,
right.
you don't want pancakes this big in front of a 1 or 2 year old.
Right.
You know, they are more comfortable with those smaller.
Plus, if you do smaller sized pancakes, for the little ones, they get one. The bigger ones, they get two, and the other ones, they can continue to right, and portion it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. Grapes. That's another one, especially with the.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. grapes can be a real potential choking hazard for the little ones.
Yep.
So depending on the size of the grapes, even if it's sometimes I'll just slice them in half lengthwise.
Right.
And that way you're exposing the inside of it, which is a lot softer and a lot easier for them to bite through than rather trying to bite through the skin all the way around.
Which may projectile a grape down the kiddo's mouth. Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
So for the Todds, you're just cutting them in half and serving them as halves.
Depending. Sometimes those grapes are this big, so I'll quarter them.
So you might quarter them.
Yeah. It just kind of depends on the size of the grapes. And there again, you're limited on when, like I said, when you're catering to the palates of kids, they don't like onions much. They don't like green peppers.
Right.
They don't like mushrooms. They don't like things like that. So you don't prepare for the kids the same way that you would for an adult.
Right.
Just because that's not what they eat. I mean, kids don't like that kind of stuff generally.
So would it be fair to say you want to challenge their palate, but cook for their palate?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to, everything doesn't have to be bland.
No.
Because your staff are eating this too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but at the same time, we don't want to over-season things.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I won't, we want the kids to eat it.
Keep the spicy out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we want the kids to eat it because we don't want to waste food.
Right.
And we don't want to have to go down there.
Right.
But we want to challenge them because we want to expose them to things they haven't eaten before.
Yeah, like salad. Like green salad, tossed salad, taco salad, chef salad. There was a boy who had never had meatloaf in the past. And so I made meatloaf one time. Well, the next week, his mom approached me and said that every week they sit down and they put together a weekly menu for dinner.
Right.
This boy liked the meatloaf. So his mom asked me what my recipe for meatloaf was, because that's what their son had requested to put on their dinner menu for that week at home.
Right.
Because he had never had it before. So yeah, some of these kids are introduced to foods that they've never had in the past, only to find out that they do like them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've had a few parents. It's kind of funny. Mothers will come up to me and say, you know, I gave so and so this for dinner last night, and they say, that's not how Mr. Pat does it. I'm so sorry. And they go, no.
It's a great compliment.
Yeah, it is. And it's the utmost of compliments is when the kids say that. And so, yeah, I've had a lot of the mothers tell me that. No, it's not how Mr. Pat does it. That doesn't taste like this. Just like what you had mentioned about the taco salad.
Right.
But yeah, the taco salad, lettuce, cheese. I do fresh pinto beans, dried pinto beans. I don't do the canned ones. I put a little bit of corn in there.
Oh, we're back to the taco salad.
Yeah, because we never did finish that. So the corn has a little crunch to it, plus the color, because people eat with their eyes.
Yeah.
You know, and so if it doesn't appeal to their eyes, then they're going to almost talk themselves into and convince themselves that it's not going to taste good because it doesn't look good.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with the kids. If it looks good, you have some good color in it, different textures like the crunch from the corn, the soft from the beans, the crisp from the lettuce.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. The flavor from the hamburger.
It's not just a soggy salad.
Not at all.
Can't do a soggy salad.
No, and it shouldn't be a soggy salad. I mean, I know I don't like to eat them, and I don't think the kids, they would like to eat them even less than I would. Yeah. You know, because I mean, there are some things that I'll eat that maybe other people wouldn't, but and kids in particular.
Right.
You know, so.
Let me ask you this: what about? Can you think of any other food safety tips? So we talked about the grapes, cutting the grapes down. To create less of a choking hazard. What about hot dogs for toddlers? Do you do anything special with those?
No, I don't. I don't cut them up into little pieces or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
About the only thing I do with those is I portion them. I'll cut them in half.
Yeah.
Because
lengthwise.
No, just in half. Because they're not going to eat that much.
Right.
If we were to put a whole hot dog on their plate and they eat half of it.
Yeah.
Then we end up throwing half of it away.
Right.
So I would just soon start off with a half, and if they eat all of that, then give them another half.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's same with early preschool.
Yeah.
I'll start those kids off with halves, even sandwiches, wraps, different things like that. start them out low, start them out with the half. If they eat all of that, then they can have more. Rather than giving some of these kids will eat 1.5 or 2 of them, and others will only eat a half of them.
Right, right.
So rather than overloading them and giving them more than they're going to eat and end up throwing it all away,
Absolutely.
then I'll cut the portions down, and then if they want more, then they can have more after that.
Sounds good. All right. All right. Stay tuned. There's more.